CBS 6 News starts now.
I think this march will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, demonstrations for freedom and human dignity ever held in the United States.
It's important for us to be a part of it, and representation matters.
It's a small price to pay to be able to put down in stone the good deeds of people in the past so that people in the future can learn from it.
We're all human, just like Martin Luther King Jr. was, so we're all capable of greatness.
Civil rights, slavery, justice, discrimination, invention, math, science, sports, Ferguson, Martin Luther King Jr., Charleston, the first black president, the Crown Act, hope, tragedy, triumph. All these things and so many more revealing what it means to be black in America. And this month, we're taking a moment, 30 minutes with this special, to highlight the impact of black history right here in the Capital Region, the past, the present, and the future, showing where we've once been to get a glimpse of where we're headed. We begin tonight with stopping segregation. That's the goal of a group of people living in Middleburg. After discovering a section of their cemetery they're labeled as the colored section and poorly maintained, they decided to form a committee to do something to change that. A walk through the Middleburg Cemetery is a walk through time, a walk through tragedies, triumphs, and stories untold for centuries.
Up until now, they've been largely invisible.
For Rayma Obi, she enjoyed walking through the area for the scenic views. That is until she came across this sign, the colored section, dedicated to the black burial grounds at the cemetery.
I want to live in a community where when people visit the local cemetery, it doesn't at first glance appear like it's still segregated.
The area was also overgrown and had not been properly maintained for years. She reached out to the village historian and the acting mayor for help.
It has the person's name, the date of death, age, where they died.
Through their research, they found that this section of the cemetery was in fact home to dozens of unmarked graves, which held the remains of black people dating back to the 1700s, including those born into slavery, and some like Jeremiah Van Zant and John Van Slyke that fought against slavery in the Civil War. It took village historian Steve Lamont nearly a year of research to identify some of the names and stories that lie here.
They were part of the community. You know, they worked, they lived here and they worked like everybody else. And, you know, they deserve to be recognized, you know, the same as everybody in the large cemetery.
And how many people were you able to identify here?
For sure 24. With the magnetometer, they come up with possible 39.
So you're still working to identify more?
And it's ongoing, you know, like I just found another one the other day.
Still, Rayma didn't want to stop with just identifying the people buried here, but also wanted to do a better job of honoring them, which meant that this sign needed to come down. In its place, 2 new signs now stand today. This Section 11 sign, similar to other section signs around the cemetery grounds, and this historical marker sign designed by Rayma herself, who is a graphic designer, dedicated to the men, women, and children buried here, both known and unknown.
There are a lot of people of color that have been lost to history because they weren't the ones writing the history books, and it's really important to consider the impact that they had in building all of these communities. Just pausing to remember that is important, I think.
The funding for the project, around $1,500, covered entirely through funds from the village budget.
If your constituents reach out to you in good faith and they have projects that are going to be important not only to the future, but the past and the present of your community that seeks to either rectify wrongs or to at least institute good measures for showing who you are as a people and who the people were, you should listen to them. It's a small price to pay to be able to put down in stone the good deeds of people in the past so that people in the future can learn from it.
Rayma says she hopes her efforts encourage people in other towns to speak up and take action if they see something that isn't right, and hopes that the next time someone walks through this area, it's a journey met with pride and not prejudice.
We're trying our best to do justice by them.
The group says some of the old headstones were stolen